back to Better. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson, and I just love sitting at a round table with some friends just talking about the world that we live in and fun stuff too. But on this show, we're going to talk about a serious topic. As you all know, I don't know where you've been if you don't know this, but we have a new president, Donald Trump, and he won the election in November. So he's been in office for a few months now, and me and my friends, we're going to talk about him and how he got elected and all of that. But before we get started, let me go around the table and have them introduce themselves to you. Let's start with you.
My name is Kendrick Brevard. I'm 26 years old. I currently work at the City of Charlotte as a utility coordinator. I like to read books, play video games, exercise, and just hang out, have a good time. So I'm pretty laid back, average guy.
And?
You.
Okay. My name is Keena. I'm a student at North Carolina A&T. I like going to an HBCU. And yeah, I'll be graduating hopefully next year. So.
My name is Brandon. I'm 32 years old. I work for the City of Charlotte also. I am a very avid camper and love to camp in hammocks.
Okay, camp in hammocks.
In very unusual spots, yeah.
Okay. So you're one of those people that we see on TV on the side of the mountain.
I'm that guy.
Oh, goodness.
With like two 20-foot long cords on either side of a hammock, just chilling over a river.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No, not me.
Yep.
Yeah, you're that guy. So, the election.
Oh.
It was kind of dirty, the way they talked about each other, so mean and nasty.
Yeah.
So, why do you think Donald Trump won?
Well,
Uh-oh.
where to start? Personally, I think that Hillary didn't really give her all. I don't think she gave her 100% because if you look at all the Democratic elects, they were very appealing. I mean, especially back in 2008, like Obama's debates, he had very good points. He had he used the human brain to the fullest. He gave catchy stuff. It was easy to pick up. No one knew who this guy was. They just knew that he was some African-American senator out of Chicago. They didn't really know nothing about Obama. And he appealed well. He campaigned his butt off. And it seemed like, Hillary, she just could not compare to Obama and the other elects. Was that out here going to, Donald Trump's a good point, out here going to Jay-Z concerts and Adele concerts. And I will give it to Trump. Trump went. He campaigned his tail off. He was across this country, probably getting 4 hours of sleep for about a year and a half. He worked his tail off. It also helps that he's a billionaire, so he kind of doesn't need funding as much as the Clintons do. But, still, if Hillary really wanted to be president and she wanted to do this change and bring one together like she said she would, to me, it feels like she half-stacked her campaign, and she definitely could have appealed to the American people harder. Like I said, when you compare it to Obama and what he was doing, it wasn't enough.
I guess I should have asked this question first. Did you all vote at this table? I'm assuming you did. I
could not because I actually moved. I picked a bad time to move. So my license had expired on my birthday on October 3rd, and I was behind 3 weeks. I didn't even know it, and I just moved about 3 weeks ago. Before the election, so I moved out of my voting district. I moved 20 miles from Lancaster to Rock Hill, and my license expired. So in order for me to move into my apartment, I needed my license. Oh, it's expired. So I went on the DMV. I got my address changed, and all this happened like 3 days before election. So then when I went to present my ID, my government issue ID to vote back in Lancaster, it said we can't accept it because it says I live outside of here, so I couldn't vote. Because I picked the worst time to move, and my license expired at the worst time.
Wow.
Sounds like it.
Yes, so did you vote this year?
I did not vote.
Huh. And Keena, are you old enough to vote?
Yeah, I voted. This was my first major election.
Wow. Yeah. So,
but
you know what I'm going to ask you, right?
I did not vote.
Why didn't you vote?
I guess I might have thought that my vote wasn't as official. It wouldn't have made much of an impact.
But you do know every vote counts, so they say.
Every vote does count. I believe, looking at it in retrospect, I kind of wish I would have voted. Just because I see that maybe one vote could have made a difference. I guess I don't know if I'm pro-Trump or not. I think that he has the potential to be great, like Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan kind of came from the same background as far as acting in movies and coming from a little bit of money, and he did a lot of stuff that a lot of people liked. So hopefully Trump can live up to those expectations and do something great for the country instead of hurting.
I'm no history buff by no means, but normally the president serves 2 terms. So we had a Democrat there for 2 years.
Right.
So the next person would have been a Republican. So I wonder if that's the reason why it may have been that Donald Trump won.
That's a good
What do you all think?
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
You don't think so?
No, the Democrat Party, as much as people would like to admit it or realize, Democrat Party's in trouble. To me personally, if Donald Trump, if he gets 2 more, if he's in president for 2 terms, I think we're going to have another red president. And then I think that depending on who that president could be, Mitt might run after Trump. I think he'll get it. If Bernie may decide to run, Mitt be in trouble.
Bernie might not live that long.
My hopes for the best, but if he does, I just don't think we'll have. In my opinion, I don't think we're going to have another blue president for maybe 20 years. The Democrat Party's in trouble. I think people are starting to, especially African American community. The Democrats have gotten the African American vote, the Hispanic vote for all these years, and you're not really seeing a whole lot of work. Unemployment is getting better, but it's still bad, especially in the minority community. Education is, I could go on and on about it. But the Democrats have not really, in my opinion, done what they said that they would do to help out the minority. You can tell me all day long, I want to tax the rich, and we want to even out the taxes and just get a flat rate, tax rate, and all this stuff, help out everybody. Not going to happen. I mean, people have been saying, I want to tax the rich for 200 freaking years. It's not going to happen. You can ask the rich to pay their fair share. They're not. They don't have to. So, it's probably, Hillary wasn't really coming at any real issues. And the fact that we want to bring more minorities over, because minorities is the Democratic majority vote. They want to bring more minorities in. They want to bring more immigrants in, and they're going to vote. They're going to vote Democratic. I mean, it's just what it is. So they're in trouble. And I think a lot of minority parties and groups are starting to wake up and realize that the Democrats really done for me. But. That's my 2 cents.
What do you all think? Do you think that if by chance Trump serves 2 different terms, that the next president will be a Democrat?
I think it depends on the person. A lot of things that you were saying, I was like, that's spot on. Like Donald Trump, I think, like Obama, was kind of able to pick out what group he wanted to appeal to and then thought about, well, what do they need? Well, at the time, we all needed like reform, healthcare, and that's we got Obamacare.
Right.
I haven't benefited from Obamacare, but I know a lot of people have. But it's like Donald Trump really just ran on what people wanted to hear. A lot of people don't like minorities. Not necessarily the ones who were born here. I guess people are okay with that now, but you're talking about bringing people here who didn't already live here. It's like, a lot of people don't want to hear that. Plus, if you look at Donald Trump's demographic, he was mostly appealing to middle-aged white males.
That's true.
That's kind of who carried the vote. People think like, Obama had the black and the Hispanic vote. We only make up a very small percentage of the vote because a lot of black people are incarcerated, cannot vote. A lot of Hispanics do not even have valid driver's license, IDs. So it's like, I think Donald Trump really won because he knew what people wanted to hear. And the next person's going to have to figure out what we need when he leaves. So I kind of like you have some faith in Donald Trump. So if he does okay, the next person could very well be a Republican. And if they run similar to how he could, if he does positively, then we might actually vote for them too. Or if we get somebody like, if Bernie runs again, I'm not going to vote Democratic because he might pass away. So that's why I'm like, I think it depends. But at this point, I won't say like, if it is a Republican, I might actually vote for them if they say some things that make sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm independent just like you are, so I don't vote. I just don't go to a ballot and vote all blue or all red.
Absolutely.
So, Brandon, you said you didn't vote this year.
Right.
this past big election, what would a candidate have to say to encourage you to vote?
Lots more money.
More money.
More money in the budgets to make the jobs that we do as local government easier. Which that's not going to happen. I mean, obviously, I know it takes lots of passing and lots of different votes from lots of different groups before it gets trickled down to the actual government. But I definitely think that would be a big benefit. I definitely think whatever the candidates are talking, that's a big part of it too. I mean, it's got to be something that's realistic. It's got to be something that appeals to the demographic they're going for. And if I vote for the next election, I think I would preferably vote for somebody who would have a more appealing story, whether they're Democratic or Republican.
So the party doesn't matter to you?
Not necessarily.
That's what I'm hearing at this table too. And I have a feeling a lot of people that were Democrats probably voted Republican because of that.
Other way around too. Some Republicans just couldn't get on with Trump, and they just vote Democratic. So it's just good just to be able to just think for yourself and just go with who you like, not just because of what party they're in.
Right.
With that being said, let's take a short break, and we're going to talk some more about how Donald Trump ran his campaign. Okay, I know it's been a few months, but we're going to go back and talk about that. All right? Hi, welcome back to Bed. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson, here with some friends, and we're talking about our new president, Donald Trump, and how he got to where he is today in the White House. Now, before we went on break, we were talking about voting. So, how Donald ran his campaign, did that sway your vote or your opinion of him? Because he used social media a lot. He said nasty things to his opponents in the Republican Party to get to where he was the nominee. So, did that sway you at all?
I'll go, because I actually voted. I voted for Hillary, mostly because I just couldn't get past some of the things that he said. His behavior. I think I was more concerned with how he would behave in a setting where he has to make a huge decision, and then I could just see like someone saying something he didn't agree with and just go left. But now that I see him like speaking and holding conferences and things, it's like he's not as erratic as he acted like he was, which logically he can't be. You can't make all that money and be that crazy. But I think I just wrote a paper about why he won. Now the paper, of course, is supposed to appeal more to the teacher, so it's not going to be like my opinion per se. But my causal analysis was basically that his parents gave him the career that he has. And that's ultimately how he won. He was in social media like every single day, which cast a shadow on the rest of his opponents. So we didn't even listen to what they said. Then it's like Hillary's emails, like that was really bad because you can't trust her. So and then also I think that you can't say that the average man would be able to run like he did because without his father's money to help him start his whole career, he would have never been the president. So I think he was just really popular, and I hope that he's not as crazy as he was when he was running.
I do too.
Campaign, I agree.
So what do you think about the way he held his campaign?
I agree 100%. The funding that he's had with his billions of dollars has definitely helped his case. He's appealed to a lot more people. He was crazy, so I mean he's going to have to prove to all of America that he can back up what he claims and that he can be a great leader. And if he can, then I think he will get elected in another term. But it's going to have to take a lot of walking the line.
Do you trust his finger on the button? Like when I say the button to blow up everything?
Well, I heard his campaign didn't even trust him with Twitter. So, I mean, it's hard to trust him with the button. But we'll just have to see. I mean, hopefully he's not as erratic as he was in his campaign. So we'll see. That's the biggest thing.
That's scary.
Hope there's not a world war.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. So, last but not least.
Donald Trump's campaigning, in my opinion, genius. In his race earlier, when he was debating Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney, all the Ted, all them, he had to appeal. He's not a politician. He does not have roots in government at all. He's just he's a businessman, actor guy that people know him as, and he had to stand himself out from 17 other politicians that have a history and a background. He had to stand out. of course, that kind of got him attention when he's talking about, the racist things about Mexicans and about, Muslims and things like that, radical Islamic terrorism. He had to create phrases, and people, they were memorable. People remembered, lying Ted, crooked Hillary. He gave people titles and stuff, and people were taking it and running. It was catchy. And he kind of got through because he didn't have any experience really in politics. In the ties, those people have an advantage over him. He's on their playing field. So he kind of had to, even that playing field out and make himself appealable. So he made himself appealable. He got down to the to the very last election race versus Hillary, and like I said, he worked hard. Of course, his money helped him. But in my opinion, he won it because he's a billionaire guy. He could sit back and watch the whole world burn. He has all the money and everything. Everything anyone could ever want in terms of earthly things, he has it. So really, that's a sign to me that Hillary's been in it. She kind of feels obligated. I need to run for president. I've done everything else in government. That's the next thing to do.
Sense.
Donald Trump, he could just sit back in his $1 billion mansion and yacht and drink his life away and just be merry. But the guy wants to work for our country. He loves the country. And to me, that's an incredible showing of willpower. Now, of course, people were telling him, all those racist things you said, you're going to need the Mexican vote. You're going to need the African American vote. You're going to need the Asian vote. He said, don't worry, we'll get them. And he did. And honestly, he didn't really mean those things. And I stand on the same case as him. We need stronger borders. We need actual immigration laws that are going to work for us. And we need to put America first. When is America going to stop being the world's police? And when are we going to work on our jobs, work on our economy, work on our health care, work on our crime, work on our education? So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
How did you hear all of that under women bleed out of there, whatever?
Now, of course,
how did you get all of that?
With those leak tapes and stuff, let's be honest.
No, the things he said in person.
He said those.
He attacked Megyn Kelly
about women
at
in person.
an actual debate. That's kind of how he got known for being crazy.
Well, now I'm not justifying every cause he said because, and honestly, I don't like either candidates. But I'm just kind of, I'm not going to say that Donald Trump's right about everything and Hillary's right about everything. I'm not really taking a side. But in terms of a neutral standpoint of view and independent, which is what I am, Donald Trump definitely campaigned his butt off. He worked his tail off. And in the end, he won. I don't agree with everything he says about women and all that kind of stuff. Completely wrong. But he didn't need that, to win. So he still won the race.
He didn't need the female vote?
No, I'm not saying he didn't need the female vote.
Though.
I'm not saying he didn't need the female vote. But I'm saying that it wasn't bad enough for him to not win president.
Yeah.
But in terms of all the other issues with the immigration, all those kind of things, he doesn't care if you're an immigrant and you're legally able to be here. You're an actual citizen. Which should matter to you as well. You don't want just someone coming from anywhere, you don't know who they are, coming over here and bringing all their drugs and their crime and their disease. I don't hear shit about that. Over to the United States when we don't practically check. We just got people running around and they're on false names and they're committing murders and they're doing drug deals, they're destroying communities, drugs destroy communities, and that should matter to you too.
Mm-hmm. So tell me, why do you all think the females followed Trump? I know, Keena, you brought up that point, and I wanted to ask that question about the things that he said about females during his campaign.
Yeah. Well, when I was reading through a lot of his tweets and things, looking for evidence for how crazy he is, it was so many things. Every time you type in Donald Trump comments, a long list came up for all these people's names. And I think a lot of women actually didn't vote for him. When you look at the percentages, the women vote was always blue. And Mexican, Hispanic, or whatever you want to go by, and black people, all that stuff, it was all blue. But he still won the major group, which is grown white males, I guess.
Now, there was a good percentage of them that were black.
Yeah, there were some black, and also some women too.
With degrees.
But it was the number was, compared to the number who voted for Hillary, it was really small. Right. But the crazy part is Hillary won the popular vote. So it's kind of like our votes didn't really matter anyway.
Well, your votes do matter.
It counted, but it's like the Electoral College,
Yeah.
the gap was so big. If you say if maybe 20,000 more people had voted, the Electoral College still would have made the decision anyway. So.
It's the swing states
Yeah.
that really your vote's going to matter more in the swing state.
So, Brandon, you did not vote, which is fine. That's your right. You can do that, but we know you're going to vote for the next time.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the things that Trump said about women?
I think there was a lot of disgraceful things that were tossed around. A lot of votes lost from the women population that I really don't feel should have said. I think he said a lot of things right there that weren't prompted, just off on cue, that he shouldn't have. So, I mean, I think that stuff might bite him.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't agree with anything really that he said about the women. That's it, the women, about women. You know, him making comments about Miss America and all that stuff. I mean, that's irrelevant. He shouldn't even be talking about none of that stuff. He should be more focused on his campaign. That's kind of what Brand was saying. I can't even trust him with Twitter. But now that he's in the office, now he can't screw around. He has to work. You saw how nervous he was sitting beside Obama.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He has to work now. So now, practically, you know, what Obama said during Trump's victory speech. Now, everything else about the campaign that happened, you know, he won. Now we all have to root for his success because now we're leaning on him. But the good thing about it is, our government is that there's checks and balances. Trump can't just do whatever he wants. He has to be checked by Congress. He has to be checked by the cabinet. He has to be checked by Secretary of State. So, you know, even with the nuclear code button and things like that, the black book, he still has to get clearance from, you know, the Secretary of State and his own cabinet before he can even launch a nuke. So not everything's Trump's decision, but like I said, we're all riding on his success. So the only thing that we can do now is just hope for the best.
Well, yes, I don't agree with everything he has said in the past and some of the things he's done right now, but at the end of the day, he is our president, so we have to support our president and hope that he does a good job for everyone. And with that, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this. Welcome back to Better. I'm your host, Cynthia Thompson. We're here sitting here talking about our new president, Donald Trump. Now, normally when we elect a president, he's in there for two terms, a total of 8 years. Do you all think, this is my very last question for you, do you all think that President Trump is going to run again? Well, he just got in there really good. He's been in there a couple of months. Do you think he's going to run again for a second term?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Good or bad, I think he's going to run again just to be spiteful, even if it's, you know, even if he's ruined everything. Even if he's the greatest president we've ever had, he'll definitely run again.
He'll run again. What do you think?
I think he'll run again. There's no reason for him not to. But what's going to determine if he does win the next term will be, in my opinion, his economy addresses. If he can really start lowering the national debt, never going to get out of it. But if he can lower the national debt, show people that people were really banking on his business experience. They didn't really, too much care about his political experience per se, because he also doesn't have any. But they were mostly banking on his business experience. And he talks about, he got a small loan of $1 million. I don't know how that's small. But he got a small loan of $1 million, and he built this gigantic empire. And people want to say, well, if you can take our little bit of money that America has in their pocket, because we really don't have that much compared to our debt, if he can take that money, if he can bring our jobs, because he's right, jobs will fix everything. If he can bring our jobs back, not necessarily back, but make more jobs, keep the salaries going up. Especially with the Obama, his team, he did do pretty good for the hand he was dealt. So if he can, everything transitions from Obama's team to Trump's team, and he can really grow our economy, and hopefully we can get this stuff settled out really fast with ISIS in the Middle East, and where we can really bring all of our efforts back into our own land, then I think that's what's really going to bank for him, and especially the African American community. If he can really speak out and really show that he meant what he said about that, then I think, in my opinion, he'll get more of the minority votes for his next term, which he'll definitely win by landslide then.
So, Keena, what do you think? Do you think Donald Trump will run again?
I like both of you guys' answers, but I'm actually kind of on the fence. I think it depends on how well he's able to juggle what's thrown at him. Because it's easy to say you can be the president when you've never run for anything political before in your life. But I think once he sees like it's super duper stressful, if he can't handle that with his businesses and his children and all his different side jobs, then I think he might not. But he can. He could definitely do it. He has the money. It's just like his age, his health, the amount of time that it takes, and he'll still be the president. So that on top of all his other jobs, that's a lot.
I guess I should ask one more question. I am so sorry. I thought that was going to be my last one. Do you think we'll ever see a female in the White House?
Yes. I think that America is ready for a female president. And I think we've long been ready, really. And I think Hillary had a good chance of running when she was going against Obama. I think America's been ready for a female president. And in truth and reality, I just don't think America wanted Hillary. But I think that I think that there are no bars set for women in terms of the Oval Office. I think we're ready.
We're ready. What about you guys?
I agree 100%.
Just not Hillary.
I think we're definitely ready within time. It might not be the next term. It might be. I would like to see a woman in office.
So, Keena?
I agree with him. I think Hillary just wasn't the right one.
You don't think she was the right one?
Yeah.
Because honestly, Trump was a terrible candidate, but he was only still in the race because Hillary was a terrible candidate. If she was a really good candidate, Trump would have not had a chance. Especially with all that other stuff coming down on him. But she wasn't able to knock him out because, in my opinion, she didn't give her all. She had too many scandals going on, and all that stuff was coming to light. You could say that, kind of FBI studies kind of was at a bad timing. Possibly could have been, but even without it, Hillary just got too much going on. But if another female runs with more ducks in a row, I think she'll definitely.
I believe Hillary's opened the door for other females.
Yes, she has opened the door,
and that you'll see a lot more in the next elections to come.
Yep.
Maybe I'll run for office.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Cynthia for
We'll
president.
I'll give you a vote.
You will. You promise your vote
go
this
vote for
time.
you.
Okay, I'll have to take you to the poll.
That's right.
But anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my show and for being here with me tonight again. And continue to watch my show here on Public Access 21 every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Thank you guys. That was really